Won't matter when OPM gets up there, it'll take forever.
Kathleen, do you need me to do the podium for you?
No, this will be easy.
Yes, please.
Oh, here it comes.
Hello.
I was just asking him about this. Like,
Oh, wait, never mind, don't, I want to get out of here sometime.
Oh, wow.
okay, so
Juan, you're talking,
Yeah.
$10,000 for every second you talk.
oh, thank you. Thank you. Where we stand at?
Thank you.
You ready, Jeremy?
Thank you very much.
All righty, Miss Kathleen.
Are we ready?
We are ready.
Already? All right. Well, good evening, City Council, and thank you for attending the fiscal year 2024 budget summary for the Office of the Mayor. The structure of the Office of the Mayor is set up where the mayor oversees administration, community relations, and corporation council. The deputy mayor oversees boards and commissions and community relation, boards and commissions and communications. My apologies. Our budgetary items include administration, 5 boards and commissions with operating budgets, communications, community relations, and corporation council. Between each department within the Office of the Mayor, we are budgeted for 31 personnel, with 26 positions currently filled. Our demographics reflect 35% ethnicity and 58% female in our current staff. Of our budget, 23% is operating costs and 77% is personnel. Each area has key accomplishments. In our area, Nellie Wanless and I worked with Patrick Suva, Pam Dillon, and Allison Warren in ISD, who built the first new system in 25 years for boards and commissions. So we have women who code, Pam Dillon and Allison Warren. Our office, through the leadership of Mayor Langfelder, established strategic networks to protect our critical infrastructure. I was a panelist on blockchain and cybersecurity in both Chicago and in Washington, D.C., to state, federal, and global audiences, and attended other cybersecurity conferences where members of our internal teams and external partners were highlighted. Our work with the lobbyists have been expanded to SCVB to coordinate our Welcome to Springfield legislative reception, where members of our General Assembly and constitutional officers may meet with key leaders within our community. Our grant submissions for congressionally directed spending earned $2 million for Pillsbury and $150,000 for Oak Ridge Cemetery. Other key accomplishments in other areas would include communications, community relations, and corporation council. So, Mr. Zirkle, on to you. Sorry. So graceful there on my end.
Why don't you keep going? Just keep going if you like.
Do you want me to go over the corporate?
I can do it if you like.
Sure, yes.
I think each year
those are your goals.
Each year, I think we've tried to give you, just very briefly, kind of by the numbers, kind of some summaries. The ordinances, resolutions prepared, in 22 would have been 593, of course, not all passed. Zoning ordinances, 62. Expungement cases, 320. And those are the ones you may recall are related to the cannabis, where, records. So those all actually are pretty streamlined, but we have to go to court on every one of those, and or file and get court orders and all of that process. Contract negotiations, 8 that the council has voted on in this last year. Pending state and federal matters, and these are mostly items relating to such things as, for example, civil rights issues and so on. Cases involving, for example, accident cases, things of that nature. 52 risk management claims, and those are ones that can be as mundane as someone tripping and falling on a sidewalk to basement flooding to a house that burns or things of that nature. So there's a wide variety of that. Workers' compensation, these are actually just the pending cases. There are many more claims, but these are the ones just before the commission, the Industrial Commission. And just kind of in broad strokes, on the administrative court side, 829 cases during calendar year 22, and there are a total of 122 pending demo cases. However, there are 68 where the court has issued orders and they're waiting to be demolished. And there's about an equal number of the ones where the city does it or the owner does it based on the court action. And MR cases are primarily follow-on with property cases where there's enforcement. And then small claims cases are ones that are involving where either the city is being sued or we are suing. Meaning, for example, those could relate to where someone's hit a light pole, for example, or where someone's suing the city because we did a certain thing and therefore they filed a small claims case against the city. So it's a variety of different activities there. Just in generic, Corporation Counsel has the business licensing, which of course is Todd, that everybody knows. And this just gives you a little bit of the idea of just on the process through the revenue collections. And then the next page just kind of is a if you will, combination of all of the activities. And so for 2022 total was about a little over $2 million. And that relates to both registration, code enforcement, business licensing, and then ordinance violation like vehicle use tax collection. And I would also like to give kind of a little bit of a shout out because all of this process is really a combination of working with the clerk's office very closely, working with treasurer's office and staff. There's really a pretty seamless process. And one of the biggest issues I'll just mention that we have had just as a department has been loss of staff through recruitment by the state because we've lost 4 attorneys over the last like 12, 14 months, all going to the state of Illinois for higher salaries. So that's something we'll have to be, at least we're going to plan for going forward. And I think our overall budget is down, I think about 0.5% if I remember. So it's pretty much status quo, I would say. So I don't know if that kind of gives a little summary, but those are kind of by the numbers.
Sir? Director Huerta has an extensive list of community relations accomplishments. He will go over the key items. He's currently passing out the remainder of that list.
Thank you.
Yeah, good evening. I gave you guys the long list of the things accomplished in the office because the mayor told me just to highlight a few things, and I don't want to be here too long. But here's a few things that community relations accomplish. We continue to work with the Salvation Army with the low barrier shelter. We administrate the meal train and also all the incoming bills at the shelter. We address landlord-tenant calls. We average about 60 calls a month. We put together a list of minority business enterprise and female business enterprise. We work closely with procurement, so they have the list for whenever they have bids and those type of things. We continue to work with the Heartland Continuum Care Board. We are part of the landlord mitigations. Also, we are the liaison to the Police Community Review Commission, Springfield Disabilities, and Community Relations Commission. But I give you a long list, so if anybody has any question, feel free to reach out to me.
Quick question, Mr. Juan, and this is more of a comment. I first of all, thank you for your work that you do in the community, you and your office, and you know, I talked to the mayor a little bit about this, but I really think, you know, and I don't know whether it'll be this budget or you know, next budget, but I do really think that we as a city got to start thinking about how we put some type of funding to help out with these situations with people who are struggling with rent or utilities and things of that nature, rather than them calling you, getting the number to wherever they need to go, and then got to make that extra call and still wait and things like that. I think it'll reduce, frustration among our citizens, as well as, get quicker help to them. And we could even, reimburse that to Capital Township and things like that. But I really think that is something that we need to think about and work towards. And, not saying a lot, but I definitely think you need something to help out with your
Yeah, I
constituents.
think in the past, we got some funding, and we work with the Urban League. So I'd be happy to look at any way that we can help the community. So
I appreciate you.
if we get the funding, I'd be happy to work with that.
Thank you. I appreciate you.
Anybody has any questions? Thank you.
Hello, Council. I'm Julia Frevert. I'm the Communications Director. I know there's a few things I did want to highlight. My team is Tony Thompson and Jeremy Bailey. They're two AV techs. I did want to highlight a lot of their items. Tony, I did have an employee previously who retired. So from January to April until Jeremy joined us, Tony was solo. And then Tony had a medical leave in the end of October. So really for the last 6 months that those two really worked together. But they put out over 150 productions. That doesn't count council meetings, committee meetings, anything like that. And so I did want to give them a shout out because they do a lot of work that people don't realize. They've brought in photography in-house. They've done promotional videos for businesses. They've provided audio and video for media when they couldn't be at events. And so I felt that they deserved, some credit because they're always behind the scenes and behind the camera. A couple other pieces that we're working towards before the end of the fiscal year is starting our migration to high definition. Even though Comcast cable does not broadcast in high definition, all of the technology is going to high definition, so we're going to have to move that way. It's very costly, so we're going to just do it in phases. The other piece that we hope to install before the end of the year is a VoIP system, which means if a council member has to join via phone, it will go through our speaker system. And so instead of over the phone with the microphone, it actually will fit together. So those are some of the pieces with that. Many of you know that we have a good relationship now with Bloomberg Harvard. Sae is joining us for 2 years. She started in August, and she's hit the ground running. We're one of 7 cities, and so I think she's our biggest cheerleader when she goes back to Bloomberg Harvard, and we really appreciate it. So she's really focused on, helped us coordinate our Community Connections event, which had over 100 employees come out. She's helped organize our CityWorks employee training. That was a couple weeks ago, where 100 employees were trained on CityWorks. And she's also working with our Housing Policy Council, working through our vacant lot process, and working through some of our affordable housing initiatives and helping that through. So some of those budget line items would definitely fall under her as well and her guidance. Through our relationship, we were granted permission to actually they wanted us to help recruit potentially up to 4 interns this summer, undergrad Harvard interns. So we're looking at getting 2 interns for the police department and 2 other interns for just other departments. They would be 10 weeks here, fully funded, and really project specific. So they wouldn't just come in to work in an office. They'd have whether it's a data-driven project or something else. Another initiative that I'm working through, of course, is broadband that I've presented to, so I won't go through all of that, but we're working with Syracuse has been a really great resource for the City of Springfield because they've already gone through their RFP process, so we're trying to learn from them. It's a lot lengthier than, we want to move faster, but that's kind of where we are with that. And then, the other piece to that is we started the Ring doorbell installation through what they call the 11th to 18th South Grand to Cook. It's Saeed's area of focus. We've installed 4 Ring doorbells, and we have 20 other residents interested, which is a big deal because we didn't think people would be as receptive as they were, knowing that we're the city, we partner with the police department, but everybody's been very welcoming. From there, we channel off to if they don't have internet, because they need internet to have the Ring doorbell. That's where we go through the ACP program and sign them up for the federal government's American Connectivity Program. And then just separately, my general communications duty. I think most of you know that I do the neighborhood news every week. Plus, I've been working with the police and fire on their recruiting efforts, economic development with their online portals that just the citywide exterior rehab program just launched today online. The Far East TIF is going to launch in a couple more days. So those are just a couple pieces that I wanted to highlight. So that's it.
So our budget is pretty straightforward with limited increases in key areas. Something we will all need to be prepared for in our future budgets is cybersecurity. This will need to be a cost that is adopted and shared in every department within the city. In this role, I have had the privilege of working closely with two departments. It's important to acknowledge those who work so hard in the background with very little recognition. Our IT, OT, and HR teams are the heart and soul of our internal operations as a city. In human resources, we have Ron Cook, Isaac Edwards, Talana Elam, Kim Homemeyer, Brooke Jones, Jacinda Knowltonsmeyer, Kristen Renard, and Sarah Taylor. Our IT and OT teams are Michael Jameson, Mike Schrader, Tom Parkins, Jay Underfinger, Javier Aguirre, Anna Alberson, Michael Canavan, Jamie Cartwright, Trey Coleman, Alexander Cruz, Matthew Dougherty, Pam Dillon, Deborah Eaton, Sean Frawley, Riley Hines, Benjamin Hughes, Carmen Marshall, Sheila Miles, Lori Milkent, Freddie Santiago, Patrick Suva, James Sullivan, Larry Tebrug, Elaine Uriker, Brian Waldron, Allison Warren, Ryan Waters, Aaron Webb, and Sean Webb. Thank you to each and every single one of you for your dedication and hard work to the city. A lot of these people have spent 30 years of their career in a basement, which is extraordinary. They're truly our superheroes behind the scene as a city. Thank you to Mayor Langfelder and Doug Brown for your forward-thinking approach to cybersecurity, making Springfield the first in the country to do the work we are doing. Thank you to Julie Zolgadar and Mallory Morton for your continued help in preparing our budget. Mallory, the budget books are beautiful. Everybody has noticed them. You have to know that. And thank you, City Council, for your time tonight. We welcome any questions.
Any questions? Alderman Hanauer.
Thank you. This is one area, there's one area that I'm concerned about, and there's more than one, but Mr. Zirkle, I agree. I think that we need to do something to try to keep attorneys here, and if we have to raise salaries to try to compete a little bit more, then I think we've said this every year, that, you know, that we just can't keep bringing people in, kind of getting them trained just to our satisfaction, and then having them skate off to the state. We've got to do something on that. Everything, it seems like everything goes through the Corporation Counsel's office, and when we're behind, that's, it's usually because we don't have the people. So I would welcome seeing that bumped up. One of the concerns I also have is our licensing area. Todd Oliver, it's no secret, Todd's had some health challenges. A lot of times he's been in that office by himself. Now that office brings in over $500,000 a year. And we need to get some people in there that can go out and inspect, and we can't just have a single man office. And and Todd, quite honestly, his salary it's amazing for what he does, for what he gets paid. I really think that we got to look at getting that office up to an area that warrants the $500,000 that they bring in. It seems like this year we've had a lot of issues with liquor licenses is a good example, and one guy just can't do it. They just can't. So I would ask that you look at that area. That would be one I would even be willing to do an amendment. I'm not one that likes to add staff for the budget, but this is an area that, and we've talked about this before, so this isn't anything new. But you've got an area where they bring in $500,000 a year at least, and we've got one guy that he's working himself sick. So I would just ask that you look at those areas.
Yeah, there's an assistant there that's currently vacant because the assistant who's down there left to go to another office. And so we're in the process of hiring an additional person there. And there's, without question, that section does a great job, but it's a combination of things because there's also an attorney signed there who does nothing but liquor stuff with Todd. And then also, really, honestly, with the clerk's office, there's a good backup. So there's a good cross. There's a reason why it works well and why the, if you will, the process switching over to, I think, Alderman, I think that was originally your idea, but it was accomplished with being able to pay online. That's tremendously streamlined the process for liquor license renewal. Also, I think it's headed in that direction for video and some of the other things like the Treasurer's Office mentioned, trying to make things more able to be paid online. And that ultimately is going to help with the workflow. But yes, there are some specific personnel issues related to, I don't want to get into the detail of that, but we do have a issue now on a medical question. And, but there is an assistant that's in the process of being hired, plus there's other staff there that do work on it. But yes, it definitely is an area that needs complete attention simply because of the interaction with the public, you know, with businesses and so on. And all of the licensees that I think about 90% of the licensees renewed online. So that process has really streamlined things, if that helps a little bit.
Thank you.
Mr. Zirkle has certainly trained a lot of great attorneys.
What happens is we do get people, in fairness, we do get people, and this happens in other departments, so this is not in any way isolated. It happens with engineers, it's happened with other staff. So we do have a situation where the experience becomes very valuable, and we actually have people being recruited away from us. It's not they're even applying, they're actually getting, you know, called, would you like to come and be considered? So the area that they're working in is one that, for a young attorney, for a younger person, that experience is very valuable.
And we're seeing that with every department across the city and CWLP, by the way. So.
We did, I think we lose quite a few people to the state.
Absolutely, yep.
Any other questions? My only comment would be to Julie and Ms. Saeed. You know, our community does appreciate the Shot Spotter Connect event, and they're looking forward to it again. You know, I actually rode through the area and just scanned it. It really looks good, and you know, the next touch-up will take us further. And I think people are very receptive to the Ring doorbells, even with our police department being attached, and I think that's really a testament to how hard they're working in the area with community policing to break the myths on what's wanted in the community. So people want safe communities, and that is helping along with us addressing some lighting and trees and stuff. So we appreciate y'all, and we look forward to the next one as well as continuing to move it to different areas of the community. So thank you. Anyone else? Alderwoman DeCenzo.
If anyone doesn't, if we're finished with questions here, I just have something I would like to say.
Yes.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you,
Any
Chairman.
other questions? Oh, thank you.
Thank you. I won't be here next Monday and Tuesday because I'm having a medical procedure done. Hopefully I'll be back by Wednesday. But the city lost a giant over the weekend, Cinnamon Kathleen Legutko, the director of the Illinois State Museum. It's a horrible loss for the city. She would have turned 51 yesterday. She was instrumental in helping out with Juneteenth and creating the Noir exhibit at the Illinois State Museum. She was an ally to all and just an expert in everything she did. So I just want to take a second to honor her life. She was only in Springfield for about 3 years, but the impact she made on the city will last forever.
Absolutely, I agree. Moment of silence.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Motion to adjourn.
So move. Do I have a second?
Second.
All right. Have a good night.